Today, we're damaging ourselves to knock out our opponents with Grixis Death Shadow. That's right, it's time for some Midweek Magic, and this week we're unleashing the best cards on MTG Arena in the new Timeless format. We're allowed to run any card ever brought to Arena, including some insanely powerful staples from Modern, Legacy, and even Vintage. The first deck I wanted to play was Grixis Death Shadow, an archetype that once dominated Modern before the introduction of Modern Horizons 2. This deck plays like a Grixis tempo deck with a sneaky win con in Death Shadow, which grows to enormous scales when we're at low life totals. Can we beat ourselves to victory, or will we get taken down by super fast aggro? Let's find out. Welcome back to yet another Midweek Magic, and I'm really excited this time because we're going to be doing some Timeless. This is going to be a pretty fun time. Obviously, you can see we got a bit of a broken start. Normally, we don't get Ragavan and DRC, but this is looking pretty good. I think I'm going to keep this hand. Being on the play first is nice too because we don't have interactive spells like say in Modern or Legacy, I suppose. There's no free counter spells in this format, so we're good to do just about whatever we want. So we'll start with DRC on turn 1. And then we'll go Mishra's Bauble. So that'll trigger Surveil. I think we want to keep the Stubborn Denial. I've noticed quite a lot of non-creature decks that are doing some pretty busted stuff. So that reveals a Fatal Push, which means we're definitely up against something black. Might just be Mirror Match? I have run into quite a lot of Death Shadows decks, while I've just been playing on my own. I see. Okay, so we're probably looking at Dimir. Could be still Grixis, but I'm a little less sure about that now. So we can go ahead and play Watergrave, and then let's just go ahead and dash out the Ragavan and see what we're up against here. Okay, we just grab a counterspell. That is fine. The monkey comes back to the hand, which is okay. And now we still have some mana up for the Stubborn Denial. Sadly, not super good right now. They've just shocked in a land, which makes me think that we are up against the Mirror Match. I'm going to take some damage here, and I think I'm going to put some pressure on with Kroxa. Worst case, they try to counter it. We have Stubborn Denial. We got a lot of stuff to do here. So what are they going to pitch? That's the Death Shadow. So we are up against the Mirror. Well, I guess we might as well just get a card out of their hand. Let's go ahead and dash the Ragavan. We have to use the treasure, sadly, but I think Rags is probably going to do his job here. Orcish Bowmasters, there we go. Yeah, Bowmasters is back to its former glory here, and it is a disgusting card to play against. Expressive Iteration. Well, that puts them down to 1 mana. That's a good sign. I mean, unless they're playing like Dark Ritual Necropotence, that is just something you can do in this format. Keeping the Brainstorm up. So I guess they mustn't hit a land. That's good to see. Oh, this is brutal. Well, if they're hurting for stuff to do, I think we go Culligan's Command, discard, deal 2 damage. Get rid of the Bowmasters. And now they're going to be forced to pitch something they probably wanted to keep in play. Yeah, pitching the Ragavan is pretty nice. They could just play another one, for all we know. That probably is what's going to happen. There's the Ragavan dashed. And what are they stealing from us? I hope it's not a Bowmasters. Okay, just a land. That's actually cool. I'm fine not holding up another land. There's the Death Shadow. Well, we have 3 1-mana spells that we can hold up and do some interactive stuff with. I think while they're still so low, we might as well Unholy Heat the Death Shadow. If they can like bolt themselves, okay, I wouldn't imagine they would do that. But now we can just hold our mana up. We've got a counter spell if need be. Worst case, a Force Spike is still decent. Yeah, so we'll Stubborn Denial that. They can still pay for it, which is fine, but now they're either gonna have to hit a land or they just play out the Ragavan and then we can Fatal Push it. Alright, well there's the Thoughtseize. Are they gonna Thoughtseize us? They are. Well then, I guess we might as well throw... I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to give them more self-damage. I'm gonna go ahead and bolt the Orc Army. And yes, we lose the Fatal Push, but that's fine. Hopefully we get a land we can play out the Kroxa. That's what we're talking about, baby! Pay the 2 life for that. Let's bring back the Kroxa. And I'm gonna try to do my best to keep Delirium up. So we got creature, instant, yeah, so we're only missing land and enchantment here. out of the stuff that we play anyways. I imagine they probably pitched the Rags now. It's not like Ragavan can... okay. I don't think Ragavan's going to do much against Kroxa. Like, worst case, they're going to have to put a few spells in to remove it. There's the Death Shadow. And are we dashing in Ragavan? Oh, just playing it out. That's fine. Do they have the Fatal Push? Okay. Okay, interesting game plan. Well, this is not looking super good. I think we're gonna have to grab Lurrus out of the side and just pass. Because we cannot afford to lose our ground here. Okay, just another land is fine. Sure. We'll trade Death Shadow. We'll trade that any day. What do you grab from us? A DRC... that is not good. That is pretty brutal. Alright, well, we can play the Bauble. Crack it. And what's our top deck looking like? Blood Crypt. Yep. Alright, that's not going to do it. GG's opponent. Alright, on the play again. This is looking pretty decent. Turn 1 Thoughtseize is nice. We got a couple of expressive iterations so we can start digging for more stuff. I like the look of this. In worst case, if we get stomped for a little bit, we have the Death Shadow. We'll start with the Blood Crypt. And then let's just go straight to the Thoughtseize. What are we dealing with? Oh, we're up against aggro. I don't like that. I think we're going to grab the Lightning Strike, because we can kill the Scamp any day. Kumano faces Kakuzan is only 1 damage to our face immediately. There we go. There's the enchantment. This kind of just feels like playing regular Magic on Arena at this point. Let's go ahead and... No, there's no point in doing that yet. I think we just pass. What I'd ideally like to do is maybe crack the fetch untapped, lose 3 life. We can play the Shadow, but our opponent's definitely going to do some damage to our face. So there's the Scamp. You know what? I think we just get rid of this now before it becomes a problem. Monstrous Rage is still a thing in this format. Send in 2 to face, that's fine. We actually wanted that. Well, since we're up against Burn, they're already going to do a lot of damage to face, so I think we just grab Steam Vents tapped. They're already kind of doing what we want them to do for us. Let's start with Iteration. Let's see what we get off of that. We will go Bowmasters to hand, Fatal Push on the bottom, Mishra's Bauble. And let's go with a Polluted Delta, play the Bauble, and now we can check our own top deck to see if we want to crack this right now or not. I think I want to keep Bowmasters, so I will just choose not to do anything right now. That leaves us wide open for a turn, but our opponent doesn't know that, and we're going to bank on that. Alright, they get the etchings out. What are we going to see here? We have the Voldaren Thrill Seeker, if they decide to do that. Could also just have a couple burn spells in hand that we weren't expecting. Another KFK. Alright. That is fine, we can deal with that. So now I assume we're gonna get some damage dealt for 2. That is fine. Now we crack this fetch, go down to 8. There's the Scamp. So I think we're gonna... this is tough. I don't know if I take out the Scamp or not. Let's go grab a Watery Grave for the sake of diversity. Okay, well there's another Death Shadow. I think at this point I put pressure on the hand, maybe get them to discard that Thrill Seeker. Actually, I mean, that does combo off with the Cacophony Scamp, which wouldn't be great. I will say that. But I think based on what we're putting on the board, if we're about to drop Death Shadow, I don't think they can just afford to go ahead and swing in. Okay, so Bloated Contaminator. I guess it's got a bit of a proliferate theme to it. Well, let's hope they don't draw land. Land would be not very good for us. I mean, even if they kill the Death Shadow here, I don't really mind. We have a backup one and we have Bowmasters. That is the land. So I imagine they're probably going to back up the Scamp, swing in with it, and then just deal the damage anyways. Actually, are we dead here? Because regardless, our opponent can sack it and fling it, then it dies, flings the damage, then we take 2. But if we block here, we just get triple damage. Yeah, that's a lock. GG's opponent. All right, on the play again, we got a lot of self-damage. I'm really just going to hope that we get the Death Shadow. but already we're putting a lot of pressure on the hand, so I think this would probably be a good hand to keep. Oh, this opener is going to be very painful. That's immediately 5 damage to our face, just the Thoughtseize turn 1. But, you know, you gotta do it, I guess. So we'll go Bloodstained Mire, crack that. We'll go again to Watery Grave so we can do both plays next turn with the Kroxa. We need our black and red sources separate. So now we take damage, go for a Thoughtseize. What are we up against here? Is this Spider Tribal? I guess we go for the Lulth? Is this somebody who just like queued in here without having a Timeless deck ready? Because I'd feel really bad for that. They've got nothing to play for now. I honestly think we just dash the Rags. Oh, okay, that's simple. Oh no, we got more gems. That's so sad. You really don't like to see wins like that last game, but you know what? We've had some pretty rough starts so far. This hand honestly looks very good. I think just being able to hold up Stubborn Denial, dash Ragavan, that looks really powerful. So we'll just start with that. All right, let's play the Bloodstained Mire, and I think we're actually just gonna Mishra's Bauble ourselves. We'll see if we want to crack this right here and now. Another Bauble doesn't hurt, I suppose. At least fills the graveyard a little bit. But it's not super interactive. We got an island from our opponent. Well, the one thing I hope is that we don't see a Stifle here. Stifle would be kind of brutal. Okay, good. We're not against someone who stifles. Steam Vents. Let's just pay the life. I don't know. Might as well. We are nowhere close to seeing our good friend Death's Shadow, but in case we ever get to it, might as well, right? Polluted Delta, I think we're just going to crack for a Swamp. That way we have our 2 colors on 2 separate lands. We will dash out Rags, and they could Stern Scolding us, but I don't think that's happening. There we go, we get in with the Ragavan. What are we exiling? So this is some kind of Is-It deck. Oh, brother. I think we go for a Mishra's Bauble, see what our opponent's up to. Oh, did not mean to click the sleeve. That's just the card I want to look at. Spell Pierce. Okay, so we know they can hold up Pierce. I think I'll just force it out of them. We'll play the Thoughtseize. We crack the treasure, little unfortunate, but maybe it just gets something out of their hand. Brainstorm, huh? Okay. I presume they have the fetch land to crack it away. The worst part about this is that what they want to keep the most, they can just leave on the top of their deck. So I guess retrospectively, I should have done that in the other order. That way I would have at least seen what they wanted to keep on the top. All right, so our opponent just sort of looks like a standard old Is-It control deck. I guess we take Spell Pierce so we have no fear of our stuff getting countered. What's Bauble getting us? Another Thoughtseize, that's pretty good. Take away a draw spell. Oh, and another land? That's exactly what we wanted, actually. I think I'll take the L here, and I'm going to go for a Thoughtseize. Worst case, they spend mana to counter it, and then we get in with Rags, or we just pull something out of their hand. Yeah. That is pretty good. I think we take the Lightning Bolt. They can still Unholy Heat Rags, but now they're only left with draw spells, which is not super great for them. Yeah, there's the Brainstorm. Sadly, Brainstorm means we also lose the information in our hands because there's no guarantees that they didn't just put these cards on top of their deck. So it actually flips the cards back over whether it's what they put on top or not. So Rags resolves, and I imagine Unholy Heat's coming out. There's the Unholy Heat. That's fine. That is fine. We still got quite a lot of interaction to work with. If they drop a creature, it's gone. We can get the Lurrus out from our sideboard if we need it. All right, well, DRC, we don't really want to live. So I think we're going to go ahead and Fatal Push that. If they try to counter, we've got the mana. They can't really Spell Pierce us right now. Memory Lapse. Well, let's stubbornly deny that. Get your stubborn denial out of here. Sadly, we don't have anything like aggressive going on right now, but they're down to 1 card in hand. And if they didn't keep Brainstorm on top, they're kind of stuck on the top deck. They are not doing anything. All right, well, I guess we will go and pull out the Lurrus. whatever they drop, if this is just some sort of like, is it Delver deck? Okay, Snapcaster probably going into Brainstorm. Yes, sir. Sounds good to me. All right, what do you got, opponent? Did you get a fetch land so you can crack that? No, you did not. Mishra's Bauble. Okay, well that's one less card in hand immediately. We'll take some damage from the Snappy, and they're gonna go ahead and draw before us. That's fine though. All right, well, land wasn't great, because I assume whatever we drop is gonna get killed right away. I guess we gotta play out the Lurrus. And then... I think we hold up the mana. I'm gonna go for Mishra's Bauble. That might be a weird choice, but if we play Rags, it's probably just dead to whatever they're doing. So they have Rags on top as well. Well, that is good to know. Although from the looks of it, they may not have interaction because they couldn't interrupt anything that we were doing there. All right, dashing out the Ragavan. Before we go to combat, I think I'll go for an Unholy Heat. Yeah, it's a lot of wasted damage, but it's fine. Spell Pierce, sure. Sure. All right, well, we'll go ahead and block the Rags so they don't get that back. We gain a bit of life too. Sad to lose the Lurrus, but we're just not drawing any of our threats right now. Bolt is also not a threat. I think we're gonna go for Unholy Heat here. We kind of need to stop the aggression that we're seeing here. What's our opponent up to? Two very similar game plans here. Oh, another fetch land. That is less than ideal. Where are all the creatures? We've seen like 2 this whole game. One of them we had to fetch out of our sideboard. All right, so they've got the Delver. I think we'll just hold up the mana for now. All right, DRC is good. I mean, if they try to counter it, then we're definitely going after the Delver so that we don't get destroyed here. All right, what are you flipping, opponent? Spell Pierce, okay. Good to know about that. Bolt, so we will bolt in response. We get a Surveil trigger out of that. We will keep the EI. That is really good. Sure, we'll lose that. That's fine. That is cool. We'll pass to our turn. Let's play Expressive Iteration. See what our opponent does. Okay, that is pretty good. We finally got the creatures we were looking for. Let's put Death Shadow in hand. DRC there. Death Shadow in exile. Then we'll go ahead and play Death Shadow. Crack the fetch land. I think we can go... Have we played the Swamp yet? We have. Alright, well I don't want to get us that low, so we'll play Tap Blood Crypt. And then pass. I think a 7/7 should be pretty good. I don't know how they can deal with it without the black, because right now it's too big to hit with Unholy Heat. We'll go ahead and dash in the Ragavan. That's a good one to hit. It looks like all our creatures were just stuck in the middle of our deck somehow. Memory Lapse, sure. Well, all they have left is a Spell Pierce, so we can go in and hit them for a bunch of damage here. And then play out Death Shadow number 2. And what have you got, opponent? Can you get rid of them? No, you can't. Let's go. Oh, we actually got a card, and it's a mythic this time. Ooh, the Serenth Great Worm. It's a little bit of an odd card considering green doesn't do a lot with artifacts, but hey, I'll certainly take it. All right, we're starting again, and I think holding up fetch land with Fatal Push looks pretty good. The 2 Bowmasters are really what's making me want to keep this hand, so we will go ahead and keep this. Start off strong with a Bloodstained Mire, and let's see what our opponent's up to. If we get Thoughtseize, we still have protection against the Bowmasters, so let's just, we'll hold that up for as long as we can, I suppose. We'll go get a Steam Vents tapped. Now we get the Bloodstained Mire back on the field, and we will just wait to see what our opponent does with their mana. I have no idea what this thing is. I'm assuming this is some kind of like mono black discard deck. We will discard Fatal Push. Or I suppose it's exiled. Let's go ahead and crack this. We'll go get a Blood Crypt, untapped. We'll go for the Bowmasters, and we'll just knock that thing out of here. Having multiple Bowmasters is really nice too. Let's just start with Expressive Iteration, see what we get out of this. Thoughtseize is good, so let's put Unholy Heat in hand, land on the bottom, Thoughtseize into exile. This is going to be a big chunk of life, but Thoughtseizing an opponent we don't know much about is pretty sick. That is a lot of go for the throats. Oh my goodness. I mean, I don't want them to draw any more cards, but they have no creatures. I think we just go for their throat here. And we'll pass it up here. Sure, they can go for the throat the Bowmasters, that's fine. I kind of figured we'd be losing it either way. Sure. I don't think, yeah, it doesn't look like our opponent's got much else going on. We'll go ahead, and I'm going to just check what they've got with the bauble. This is some weird thing from LCI. I've genuinely got no idea. This just looks like Thoughtseize.deck. Well, I think we've successfully out-Thoughtseized them. Let's play a Watergrave tapped. We'll swing in with the Orc Army, and then we'll grow it with Bowmasters. We're probably going to lose the Bowmasters again, but by this point we've got a nice, tiny little aggressive creature to go at our opponent with. There's another Thoughtseize off the top. So I imagine probably the Thoughtseize Rock, go for the throat. That is fine. We will go ahead and just... guess we'll just throw the bolt at them while we still have it. Interesting. They're going for the throat the army. I think that's objectively not the right play, because we can always just make another army with the Bowmasters, but that forces our opponent to need a draw spell, and in black, not super likely. They didn't take anything. Oh, it's an artifact or creature. Okay, well that makes a big difference. Let's go ahead and Croxa their hand, see what they got there. I don't think we've seen any creatures, just one creature, so they can't craft this quite yet. Now we'll go ahead and swing in with the Bowmasters, and I guess just Thoughtseize you for good measure? That's a land, alright. That feels a bit foolish, but we are fine with that. We kind of want a low life total anyways. That is a creature, alright. I know this is going to turn on the craft, but that's 6 mana? Yeah, let's just Unholy Heat that thing away. And now they're empty-handed. Oh, Ragavan is a good one to hit. We will dash that Ragavan in like no tomorrow. And what do we get? What do we get? Does this matter? I don't really know. I mean, we have nothing else to do with it anyways. We'll play Visage of Dread. It's gonna do nothing, and we get back our Ragavan. I mean, if they have a Thoughtseize, like, they kind of got us. I guess they're gonna go ahead and craft this thing now. But we've got Croxa that we can bring back from the yard. And that kind of doesn't compete with a 5/6 Menace. Alright, so they're gonna mill 2 cards. Okay, that is a pretty good one too. Let's go ahead and play the Croxa. And I want to keep Delirium, so okay, we have 1 land. Sorcery is good, creature, artifact, so then the rest of this can all go. Perfect. Alright, so we're going to just deal some direct damage to them like that, and then we'll go ahead and play DRC. Now we hold up the defenses. They can't swing in, and even if they drop something, yeah, Cult Conscript isn't going to do it for them. Because now we just get them in the air, and the Croxa is going to deal the last 3 damage to them. Well, you got to admire the attempt at least. We will not block. Down to 5. That would be a pretty big Death Shadow if we had it. And that's going to be GG's opponent. Well fought, but just not quite enough. Ooh, we got the Kellen Parallax style. That's pretty cool. Again, like I said basically in the last Midweek Magic video, I don't know if he's any good, but it's a cool card, so we'll definitely take it. So unlike normal Midweek Magics, we've actually got 1 extra win to get us a pack of Konzotark here, so once that's done, I have that, plus I believe a pack of LCI that we can check out as well. Otherwise, I mean, this is a pretty solid opening hand. We got the Thoughtseize turn 1, we can dash in Ragavan, like this is looking like a really good opener. We are on the... okay, I don't really feel good about this one. If they're playing Swiftwater Cliffs and they don't have, like, the lands for the format, you feel a little bad for them. We'll go ahead with the Blood Crypt, untapped. Deal a bunch of damage to ourselves with the Thoughtseize. And what do we got? This is just a pile of stuff. This looks like a standard deck, to be honest with you. I guess we will take care of the Resolute Reinforcements. That way they shouldn't have a way to stop our Ragavan turn 2. Oh, that's a wacky 4-color pile. Let's bobble our opponent. We have to crack the fetch no matter what if we want to play out the Ragavan. Oh, Bielspis Command is pretty good though. It may not be as powerful as like some Eternal staples, but at least on Arena, that's a very good card. And we'll hurt ourselves even more. Play out the Monkey, and at least our opponent doesn't get to use it. We are fine with that. We will pass the turn. Alright, so we get another land off of that. Could use a few less lands, some more interaction. Because if we can't aggro our opponent early enough, they're just going to take it away with a bunch of stuff that we normally don't see on Arena. Alright, so we will allow that to happen. Let's go and play... Let's play Watergraved Untapped. I don't like this play, but I think we're gonna go for the Ragavan Dashed. We will bait out the Urza and see what they do. If they block the Ragavan, then we kill Urza. Our opponent's really thinking about it. Alright, so we'll go ahead and bolt the Urza. They both take each other out. 2 Legends of the Multiverse, and we'll just play another Ragavan. That is goofy as heck, I will say that. They've got a tap land, okay. Well, I can still play whatever this thing is. Hurl's Prodigy. They definitely care about artifacts in some way, and another land is not really what we want, is it? Well, let's play Kroxa. I imagine they don't pitch the Battle for Zendikar if they're looking for big mana. So we'll probably lose the Sky... maybe not. Okay, actually, I'm very glad to not see that around. Yeah, I don't think we're going to swing into a 1/4. Invasion of Zendikar. Well, even if they decide to swing in, that's only a single defense counter. That's fine. They can have the defense counter if they want it. Alright, well this is gonna look pretty bad. Okay. We will not block that. You can take that off. Just for good measure, I want to crack this and just not get another land. Like 6 lands is great in some decks, not in this one though. Oh wow, look, that's not a land. Alright, let's swing in with the Ragavan. Let's see what we can steal from them. This is something I've never seen before. Oh, I mean, I guess it's free card draw. We might as well just play it out. We like some free card draw. We don't even have to put anything on the bottom because we have a legendary creature, and that is what we wanted. Let's play a big old Death Shadow. And we will pass the turn. No need to play out the lands. I think we just hold them up, honestly, as like as some kind of bait. So are they going to give this thing +2/+0? Oh, it gets perpetually bigger. I assume they're going to do that. Let's let them pay the 3 mana. Sure. And then we'll go ahead and Unholy Heat ya. Protector of Gondor. Alright, so he brings along a little buddy with him. So this is what we definitely wanted to see. EI is going to be really important here. Sadly, not a very good not a good EI in the slightest. I guess Rags goes to hand. Bottom Watergrave. Keep the Blood Crypt. Oh, brother. Well, let's just pay some life. I guess we can grow the Death Shadow. And then we'll just go ahead and swing for 6 and see what our opponent does. Alright, so they decide to chump. That is fine. Now we'll go ahead and grab Lurrus from the sideboard. And just hope and pray that some big dumb thing doesn't hit the battlefield. There are certain cards that we just scoop to. This looks like a 4-color deck. I imagine maybe they just have Aragorn and a bunch of like stuff from that set. Sky Strike Officer. Interesting. All right, so what are we putting a counter on the Protector of Gondor? All right, well, Death Shadow is good to see for sure. Let's go ahead and play out Death Shadow first. We sadly don't have anything to block the flyer, so we're gonna just hope and pray that we get some sort of removal spell, because they look like they can just clog up the board for days. All right, so that resolves. Cool, cool. Let's go ahead and play Kroxa, and we want to keep Delirium. So again, we'll go land, sorcery, artifact, instant. So then everything here on we can exile. There we go. Play out the Kroxa, make him discard the last card in hand. So now they're in top deck mode while we still presumably have quite a lot of stuff. So let's see, maybe they try to multi-block. If that's the case, that's actually really good for us. Because I will gladly trade a single Death Shadow for like 2 of their creatures. Let's go ahead and swing. Alternatively, maybe they just chump block. Okay, they're just gonna draw a card. That is cool with me. So now next turn we have like 18 powers worth of creatures coming at them. We might have to just full swing, honestly. Gonna make the 5/5 even bigger? That is certainly one of the Magic the Gathering plays of all time. The fact that we're struggling against like a standard legal deck potentially is not a very good sign, but we also drew pretty bad. Like we just continue to draw bad. It's like our opponent knows. Let's go ahead and play out Lurrus. We might actually start needing the lifelink soon. Okay, they just scooped just like that. Cool for us. And there's our pack of Khans of Tarkir, so let's go ahead and open those up. Well, LCI is more recent, so let's just at least see what's in here. Got ourselves a Mythic. Ooh, Millennium Calendar. That's pretty cool. I think you can build a really cool deck around it, but it's definitely a lot of a build around card for sure. And then let's check out Khans of Tarkir. What do we get here? Very nostalgic set for myself. And Crackling Doom. Oh, that's a pretty good card. Khans of Tarkir definitely is a bit underpowered compared to nowadays Magic sets, but I still love seeing this stuff, man. So overall this week, we ended up going 4-2, which was actually pretty good for a record for for the Midweek Magic set we tend to play. A lot of the times it's more of like a 50% win rate. This time, yeah, we did have that one game that scooped that just played the random spiders, but you know, that just kind of randomly happens. Unfortunately with Midweek Magic, it's one of those things where it's accessible to everyone, but maybe everyone doesn't have a deck or doesn't have a collection that allows them to play in it ideally. So if you're playing like Grixis Death Shadow versus, you know, Lord of the Rings Spider Limited, yeah, it's really unfair. I don't see how you'd make it through that. Overall, I've been playing this deck in my personal time. This is the deck that I decided to build for Timeless in the first place. And I posted on Twitter a little while back that I had gone 15-3 with the deck. I just started playing a bunch of games yesterday, you know, just to get all the daily wins. And it took me pretty much no time at all. Sometimes it was easy enough to just drop a Ragavan on the table. Sometimes it was just dropping Kroxa and all the discard spells. But this deck feels really good. I know it's not quite all in compared to some builds of Grixis Death Shadow where they play, you know, like Khmer Battle Rage and Become Immense, I believe is the other one. So even though we're not quite all in, I think this is a very good deck that has a lot of reasonable answers to a lot of big threats in the format. If you've stuck it out this far, I appreciate it very much. And if you liked the video and you want to see more in the future, go ahead and leave a like down below on the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn the bell on for all notifications in the future. And you can follow me on social media at JayoticMTG on all the platforms shown on screen, and those links will be down in the description below. That'll do it for today, so until next time, take care.